You're listening to
Catholic Sprouts,
the daily podcast for Catholic kids that strives to plant seeds of faith. Hey there, Sprouts. Today is Tuesday, June 21st, 2022. This week on the Catholic Sprouts podcast, we are talking about Jesus' Sacred Heart, which we'll be celebrating on the Feast of the Sacred Heart this coming Friday. Yesterday, we started with the heart of Jesus as we talk through all of the elements of the Sacred Heart image. And today, we are going to talk about the fire. Now, if you haven't yet, pause right now and take a look at an image of the Sacred Heart. They're very easy to find online. You're going to notice that this is a heart, but coming out the top of it is fire. There's fire burning out the top of it. And this is an important symbol. First of all, because fire oftentimes has been used to symbolize God. There are three key times in the Old Testament where God is symbolized by fire. The first one is when God appeared to Moses. Do you remember how he appeared? He appeared as a burning bush, right? But the fire was not consuming the bush, and yet God was here in this fire. The next place that God is shown through fire is after Moses goes back to Egypt. He's leading the Israelites out into the wilderness, and the Egyptians follow them. And God stands between the Israelites and the Egyptians as a pillar of fire. That is how he protects them. The final time is generations later, when the Israelites' kings have been very corrupt, they're worshiping false gods, and the prophet Elijah, he is called to come and call out these worshipers of especially a very violent god named Baal. So all of the priests of this false god assemble. Elijah challenges them and says, build an altar. The first one to call down fire from heaven by their god, then, this is the true God. And so, of course, these priests of the false god, they do all their praying and chanting, but Baal's not real. He's made up. So does fire come down from heaven? Nope. And then Elijah, just to make it extra difficult, he pours his whole altar full of water. And yet, from the moment he prays, fire comes from heaven and consumes the sacrifice, proving what we already know, that there is only one true God, our God. So this is the fire. And this reminds us, like we said yesterday, that Jesus has a human heart, and yet this human heart is filled with divine love. So that fire should remind you of all of those Old Testament stories that Jesus and God the Father are united. They are one God through the Holy Trinity. And that this God that created us, that led the Israelites out of slavery, that he is here present in Jesus, that they are united, that it is very love inside of Jesus' most sacred heart. Now, the next image that we're going to talk about today is the crown of thorns. The crown of thorns encircles the heart of Jesus. And of course, this reminds us of the passion that Jesus willingly endured out of love for us. Specifically, it reminds us of the way that the soldiers mocked Jesus. We know that Jesus is indeed the King of the universe. And if anyone deserves a real crown, it is Jesus. And yet they gave him this crown of pain and mockery. And this reminds us that Jesus continues to be mocked in our world, that he is disrespected when he is present in the Eucharist and all of these things, and that we should come and comfort his heart, not mock him, not ignore him. And so, Sprouts, let's pray our prayer that we started yesterday. Remember this simple prayer. Oh, Jesus, make my heart like yours. Say it with me now. Oh, Jesus, make my heart like yours. That's it for Catholic Sprouts today. We'll be back tomorrow, but until then, continue to grow in your faith and truly sprout into the beautiful creation that God created you to be. We are excited to announce that our Rosary board books are finally back in stock. We have reprinted them with all sorts of amazing upgrades, a sturdier box, more vibrant pictures. If you would like to get a set for your family so that your family rosary is a little bit more inclusive of the youngest members of your family, you can find a direct link to grab your set in the notes for this podcast episode. And as a special treat, because we're so excited, we are throwing in a free copy of the Litany of Loretto with each purchase of the Rosary Board Book set.
This show is a production of the Spoke Street Media Podcast Network. For more great podcasts, visit spokestreet.com.